Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new Elder Scrolls Online guide video with me, Sherman. Today guys, we're going to be talking about the healer role in ESO and what it means to be a healer. And just so to clarify, this is geared more towards the roleplay casual side of play, not the meta play. If you want to do meta stuff, there's a lot of people out there that already cover that. So moving on, another disclaimer in here. This is a character build that I play on the test server. I do not play this on the live server as of yet. I actually made this character in design of my counterpart's D&D character because they are a huge fan of the cleric from Dungeons & Dragons. So, let's go ahead and move on and talk about the role. So this is the healer role. Heals and protects allies, keeping them alive throughout the battle. That's their job description according to the developers. Not according to anyone else's description or idea, just the developer's idea. So, heal and protect allies, keeping them alive throughout the battle. That's what they're supposed to do. Now, you can do this one of many ways. You can do this through heals, support, gear sets, a lot of different stuff offer this kind of play where you can protect your allies, heal them, and do that. Now, the idea of this character here is an Argonian Templar. And as you can see, I have 14 into stamina, 50 into magicka. This is to kind of balance out the way this character plays, because we do use magicka and stamina in the build to give it the tools necessary to play a healer. This is more or less a support character when you're not doing anything else. Like if you're just playing the game, you're a support character. You're not going to be focused on doing really high DPS. You're not going to be focused on doing tanking. You're just going to be offering support and doing damage at the same time. That's how this build works. And that's the reason why I chose the Templar. Now, the cleric itself, in D&D terms, is a battle priest. And a healer in most games is pretty much going to be that. It's somebody who's trained in the art of healing to keep their group alive using abilities like protection spells, things that reduce the incoming damage they take, things that heal their allies, things that offer shields to their allies to protect them. And also other meaningful tools that they use, like debuffs and things, to make the enemies weaker or to reduce their incoming damage from those enemies. That's the idea of a healer in this game's design. So, let's take a look at the skills I have on my bar for this purpose. The first skill I have is called Deep Slash. Now the reason I'm using Deep Slash is because one, it does damage up front. It also slows enemies, making their movement speed slower. But it's really for the minor maim is why we're using this. This will apply minor maim to all 3 targets hit if you can hit all 3 with this ability. This reduces their incoming damage on your allies by 15%. This is a way for you to protect your allies. Next ability we have is Blazing Spear. As you can see, this ability does damage up front, does damage over time, and an ally near the spear can activate the Blessed Shard synergy, restoring 3,960 magicka or stamina, whichever is higher on their character. Now, if they have the Undaunted passive, also, Undaunted Command, activating a synergy restores 4% of your max health, stamina, and magicka. In this case, I'd get 1,076 health, 853 stamina, 1,215 magicka if I activate somebody else's synergy. And depending on where your stat pools sit, depending on what kind of character you play, will determine how much resources you get back here. So this is more of a damage support skill. The next ability we have is called Blazing Shield. Now, we have this for ourselves to keep us alive, because we are going to be standing on the front lines with our group. While the tank is tanking, we're going to be within range of them. So we can heal them and do the things we need to do to play this character really well. Like I said, it's more of a battle priest type character than it is anything else, but it is designed, this character's literal design is to play support. So to do heals, protect allies, that kind of stuff. And this is your own protection ability. And now this does absorb 8,078 damage because of our health pool. That's the reason why I chose Argonian also. Each nearby enemy increases the shield strength by 4% when the shield is activated. And then when the shield expires, it explodes outward, dealing 37% of the damage absorbed to nearby enemies. That's the other reason why we use it, because it helps the group. It does damage, it absorbs damage for us to keep us alive, but then it does damage outwards. And because of that, we can also proc another thing in the Aedric Spear line called Burning Light. When you deal damage with an Aedric Spear ability, you have a 25% chance to deal an additional X amount of physical damage or magic damage, whichever is higher, and this effect can occur once every 0.5 seconds. So as this is sitting on the boss or whatever, before even if somebody activates the synergy, it'll run its process of the 8-second duration. So it's still going to be doing damage. It's going to have a chance of proccing that Burning Light. You're also going to be able to proc it from this when the shield expires and explodes. Now the next ability we have is more of a group support ability, and this is called Radiant Aura. Champion the cause of divine glory to apply minor magicka steal to all enemies around you for 24 seconds, causing you and your allies to restore 300 magicka every 1 second when damaging them. While slotted, you gain minor fortitude, minor endurance, and minor intellect, increasing your health, stamina, and magicka recovery by 10%. Next ability we have is called Cleanse. Now this one, cleanse yourself and your group, removing 2 negative effects and reducing the duration of any further negative effects by 50% for 6 seconds. With a negative effect, if a negative effect is removed, the target is healed for 20% of their max health. Cleanse is a removal of negative effects. That's a skill used to protect your allies. The next part is to heal your allies. So again, and it does cost a lot of magicka to use this ability. I mean, watch this when I cast it. That's 7,000 magicka. So you want to use this sparingly. You do not want to spam this. The next ability we have is another protection barrier skill called Replenishing Barrier. Now this one invoke defensive tactics to protect yourself and nearby allies with wards that each absorb up to 29,642 damage. Each time a ward dissolves, you restore 6 ultimate and 458 magicka. It offers the group support by protecting them, but it also gives me something to look forward to because it gives me more ultimate gen faster, and I gain magicka. So as soon as any of the shields come off, I'm going to get this. Next ability is on our back bar, again, more protection type thing, and that is Turn Undead. Now this one, you brand the earth at your location with a Rune of Protection for 24 seconds. You and your allies in the area gain minor protection and minor endurance, increasing or reducing your damage taken by 8% and increasing your stamina recovery by 10%. Upon activation, Daedra, Undead, and Werewolves in the area are feared for 5 seconds. This means they are immobilized for 5 seconds. So this works out really good in dungeon play and even in overland play because you do find a lot of Daedra, Undead, and Werewolves everywhere in the game. Next ability we have is called Purifying Light. The main reason why we have here is because in Dawn's Wraith you get 2 really good things for this. So the first thing this does is it does damage up front, and the damage can be copied, and 20% of the damage can be redirected back to the enemy for a total of 18,229 magic damage. Now when the effect ends, a pool of sunlight remains attached to the enemy, healing you and nearby allies for 2,450 health every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. Remember when I said a healer's job is to protect and heal their groups during the battle? That's all this character does. So this will give you Prism. Casting a Dawn's Wraith ability generates 3 ultimate. This effect is going to occur once every 6 seconds. You got to remember, every time you light attack, you gain ultimate. Every time you heavy attack, you gain ultimate. Every time you use abilities, you gain ultimate. So all these abilities, plus all this other stuff, is going to allow you to generate ultimate. And if you're casting this on succession, you're going to be able to get that applied to your allies, those shields. Plus, you're going to give yourself ultimate back. Next ability we have is Breath of Life. Oh, sorry, and Prism. Besides Prism, we also get Illuminate. Casting a Dawn Wraith ability grants minor sorcery for you and your group for 20 seconds, increasing spell damage by 10%. That's the other reason why we keep this on there. Next ability is Breath of Life. Now this one, beckon your inner light, healing yourself or a wounded ally in front of you for 8,934 health. Now remember, that's going to change based on how much spell damage you have, how much healing factor, all that stuff. Also heals one other injured target for X amount of damage in health. Now this is a cone in front of you, so when you cast it, if I were to cast it right here, I'd hit both of them. So if I do this, it's going to cast it on me and both of them. But not always like that, so because it's going to heal whoever's wounded the most. The next ability we have is called Ritual of Retribution. Now this does damage up front, or healing up front, and damage over time. So it does healing over time and damage over time. And it also removes 2 negative effects from yourself. Allies can activate the Purify synergy, cleansing all harmful effects from themselves and healing themselves, and it scales off your highest offensive stat. So in this case, my max magicka. Next ability we have on our bar is called Restoring Focus. This is primarily for you, because you're going to be, like I said, you're going to be standing like this with pretty much with the boss the whole time. You're going to be standing within range. Now this one will give you Major Ward, Major Resolve, increasing spell and physical resistance by 5,280, and you also recover 240 stamina every 1 second. Now you can use the one that gives you magicka. I use the stamina one because when you play this character outside of doing tanking or playing damage dealer, outside of healer, and you're playing tank or damage dealer, you can actually take advantage of this stamina recovery then. Alright, moving on to the last ability we have here, we have Sturdy Warhorn. Now Sturdy Warhorn isn't like Aggressive Warhorn. It is an actual group support, more of a group support than it is a group buff damage support. This is just group support all around. One, it gives you max magic and stamina for 30 seconds, or increases your max magic and stamina by 10% for 30 seconds, and you and your allies gain minor resolve and minor ward, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 1320 for 39 seconds. Now I want to show you guys this, because this is kind of crazy. When I put this down, I go to 2730 spell and physical resistance. This is on a healer. Now if I were to use the Warhorn, I will gain another 1,000 something extra resistances on top of that. I go to 33k physical resistance, or spell resistance, 30k physical resistance because of it. Because I get 50% increase to my resistances while I'm standing in this circle. So that's the other reason why I use it. Another thing that a healer should build for is magic recovery. The reason why is because you're going to be spamming a lot of abilities. Sometimes you might do something like this and put down your big AoE coverage stuff. That kind of thing. So you're going to get all that stuff out so you can get all these abilities going. Once you do that, you might switch back to the back bar and start doing some Breath of Lives. And as you can see, I'm using magicka. Well, the way you want your recovery to work is you want it to give you the most resources it can back. And that's the other reason why I use the other thing, is because my stamina recovery is really low. So, and that's the cleanse thing. But yeah, that's what a healer does. That's their job, is to keep their group alive. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this in a dungeon. I probably won't kill very much stuff because I'm not set up for damage. I'm set up primarily for healing. But I want to show you guys how effective it can be in a dungeon setting. Now I will be showing this build off next week. This is the healer build. Tomorrow I have the Northern Wind. The next day I have the Lord Knight. So, but yeah, I do want to show you what this thing can do in a dungeon so you guys can see for yourselves. And remember, everything I show you is just suggestion in ways that you can play. This is just showing you a way you can play the game. That's all it is. And we are going to go with tri-stat food because I want to get the maximum amount of resources out of my character. I'm not worried about the recoveries because I've got tri-stat pots for that. Now if I use the barrier, boom. And I can just stand here and just let these guys beat on me. Because I have such a high damage shield. And yes, this is in normal mode, so... I didn't realize I killed everything. But there you guys go. You can see how effective it can work. It's really good. It's kind of like a tank that's made to heal. And see, when I did that, all three of those enemies in the circle, when I did the deep slash, all got what is that? Weakening, basically, minor maim applied to them. There you go, that's that. Now we're going to go in here and we're going to face the little boss guy in here. He's going to probably not kill me. It's going to be really hard for him to kill me. I mean, I can probably stand through most of the stuff he does and maintain my resources because it's this character's so powerful when it comes to the resource management and everything else. Use Warhorn. And I died. But that's fine. I wanted to die. Mainly because I wanted to die. Just because that's what I wanted to show you guys, was how this works. But this is what a healer's job is to do. It's to heal and protect their allies while they're in battle. And you can do this with so many different builds, it's not even funny. And a lot of them can be really fun to play. And that's the whole purpose of this, is to show the casual community and the roleplay community how they can make their characters and play them in the different roles. And that's what these guides are here for. That's why I did the damage dealer, the tank, and the healer. So, and as you can see, most healers are going to build into Magicka, because most heals are Magicka based. Unless you're a warden, you can't really play anything like a Magicka based or a stamina based healer. So that's why I like this so much, and I enjoy this. And again, I got to give a major props to my counterpart for this idea, because it is so freaking cool and it works out so well. So, but that is it, guys, for this guide video. I hope it was very informative. I hope I explained enough to make you understand how a healer works and what the healer role is, by the design of the game, and not from a meta perspective, but from a roleplay, casual play perspective. So, and that's it for the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you know what's coming next. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you guys want to see more videos by me, you can subscribe. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and this guy might see you in game. Bye.